Imagine you're running a small business in the English countryside, pouring heart and soul into growing your dream. And suddenly, a major political decision, Brexit, ripples through the financial system, making banks reluctant to lend you money. And this isn't a hypothetical scenario, it's exactly what's happened to thousands of small and medium-sized enterprises or SMEs across the UK. And today we're diving into the real measurable impact Brexit has had on SME lending, especially highlighting how rural and export-focused regions have been hit the hardest. Since the UK's Brexit referendum in 2016, economists have closely watched its economic aftermath. Initially, there were sharp drops in the pound and stock market turbulence, but deeper effects took time to surface clearly. And one of these impacts, which the recent comprehensive research underscores, has been a significant reduction in bank lending to SMEs. It's a crucial businesses that make up the backbone of Britain's economy. And the study employed a robust statistical approach known as difference in differences, comparing UK SMEs with similar businesses across Europe. And they found something alarming, a quarterly contraction in SME lending of about 1.2%, translating to nearly a 4.8% annual decrease following the Brexit vote. And the effects didn't just happen once, they recurred during major Brexit milestones, such as triggering Article 50 and passing the withdrawal bill. Simply put, every time Brexit uncertainty peaked, SMEs felt the financial pinch even more. But why does SME lending matter so much? SMEs are vital for innovation, job creation, and regional economic stability. And yet, unlike large corporations, they rely heavily on consistent access to finance. Brexit-induced uncertainty meant banks became risk-averse, reducing loans to SMEs perceived as vulnerable or less financially stable. And this sudden reluctance wasn't evenly spread. Regional disparities became starkly evident. And when they drilled down into postcode level data, the picture got even clearer and bleaker. Rural and peripheral regions far from major economic hubs saw lending contract by over 5% in some years post-Brexit. Areas heavily reliant on exporting to the EU were particularly hard hit, with lending dropping sharply as banks hesitated to finance businesses facing uncertain trade conditions. So let's take a closer look at these regional impacts. Peripheral regions such as parts of Wales, Northern England and rural Scotland faced especially harsh consequences. And these areas often struggle with economic stagnation, underinvestment and infrastructural challenges even in stable times. And Brexit magnified these existing issues as banks viewed them as even riskier lending destination. But rural areas also face severe challenges. Many rural SMEs, contrary to common perception, are innovative and export-driven. Yet post-Brexit, they found themselves facing tougher financial scrutiny, more collateral requirements, and shorter-term loans, which complicated long-term planning and sustainability. And this contrasts sharply with urban SMEs, which generally retained better access to finance thanks to their proximity to financial hubs and diversified economies. But why did Brexit specifically impact SMEs so significantly? Banks became wary due to heightened uncertainty around the UK's future trade and regulatory landscape, and SMEs often have limited collateral and less financial transparency compared to larger businesses, making them inherently riskier borrowers from a bank's perspective. And when political uncertainty spikes, as it did with Brexit, banks tighten lending to these smaller enterprises first. The research also revealed another critical dimension. SMEs deeply embedded in EU export markets were especially disadvantaged. Brexit created trade barriers and regulatory uncertainty, directly affecting SMEs' business models and revenue stability. Regions heavily engaged with EU trade, such as manufacturing hubs and agricultural zones, experienced significant lending declines. And these SMEs faced higher operational uncertainty, prompting banks to perceive them as high-risk clients. And these implications of the findings are really profound. For policymakers, they signal a pressing need to develop targeted financial support strategies. Generic one-size-fits-all approaches are insufficient. Policies must specifically address the unique vulnerabilities of SMEs in peripheral and rural regions, as well as export-oriented businesses. Loan guarantee schemes, for instance, can reduce lender risks and incentivize banks to lend more confidently to SMEs. Moreover, enhancing regional financial institutions and local banks could help address specific local economic conditions and requirements. Supporting localized lenders with deeper community ties can facilitate more targeted lending strategies and boost regional resilience. On the demand side, SMEs require more tailored financial advice and also education, and many SMEs remain unaware of available financing options or feel discouraged by complex application processes. So promoting transparency, simplifying loan applications, and providing clear, accessible financial guidance can significantly enhance SMEs' resilience. And these steps aren't just economically prudent, they are socially and politically critical. Addressing regional inequalities and supporting SMEs through targeted financial interventions can foster economic stability and unity across the UK. So to sum up, Brexit didn't just shake up Britain's political landscape, it profoundly reshaped its economic geography, disproportionately affecting SMEs. And the analysis underscores the urgent need for targeted policies that consider regional economic disparities. SMEs aren't just businesses, they are the lifeblood of local communities and regional economies. Without targeted support, their struggles can translate into prolonged economic stagnation and widening regional inequalities. And here at Outside Views, we are committed to bringing you clear, in-depth insights into these critical economic shifts. And if you found this breakdown helpful, please like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon for future updates. Thanks for tuning in today. See you in the next video. And the next video is right here in the end screen, right next to a video from my newest channel, Zootastic. And I really would appreciate your support over there as well. I'll see you there. I'll be back.